At $200, a Super Nintendo setup costs twice as much as the old system. For the money, the company promises better pictures, sound, and adventure. Now you're playing with power, superpower. You're the king, I tell you! The king!
Only for Super NES. Only on Super NES. You're listening to the SNES Podcast with your host, Soulblazer.
Hello, you're listening to SNES Podcast. It's me, George.
No,
Hello.
This is the SNES Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden. I might have lost some clout there. So yes, as you hear, I have George here with me tonight. Greg moved. He traveled from Rhode Island down
Mars.
to Tennessee. So his he's going to Mars. So he's kind of in limbo and waiting on his stuff to be delivered. So I figured while he's unavailable at the moment,
You drag
I would
me
take
in
the
here.
time to drag George in here, and we would record an episode to kind of just update you guys onto what's going on. We probably aren't going to record a regular episode of the SNES Podcast till probably mid-October, or at least that's when it'll be released. Fingers crossed. But yeah, so this is not a numbered episode. This is not officially canon. I'm with George on this. This is going to be the SNES Gaiden episode. And today we're going to talk about a Japanese-only game that George decided to throw at me because I did give him permission to select the game that we were going to cover.
You texted me like, was it a day before or like
I literally
2 days
texted you
before?
yesterday morning.
Yeah, yesterday morning. And I was like, there is a game on the cover, but we don't have enough time to do it. So I was like, wait, there's a Kunio-Kun game that we can probably finagle our way through a little bit and talk about. Yeah. So enjoy this title, Shodai Nekketsu Kouha Kunio-Kun. Yeah.
You did about as good as I would have, and that's the whole reason I had you say it.
It roughly translates to the original hot-blooded tough guy Kunio.
And what it translates to is River City Ransom 2.
No, that is not. That is not. Okay, so this game, yes, is referred to as River City Ransom 2, but it is not intended to be so. So this is part of the Kunio-Kun series, which we actually got a decent amount of those games over here, and actually they're still making them, and they are actually now. I think all of the ones that are coming out now are actually getting North American localizations, so that's cool. They're mostly just beat 'em up in sports games. It's about a guy in high school. Go figure. He's a punk. He goes and beats up people. You fight banchos, which are, how do you even explain that? They're just like high schoolers that are punks that like to fight and take over turf, basically.
Yeah, basically.
That's pretty much it.
It's the Japanese gang war without the Yakuza.
Oh, yeah, it's like high school. Yeah, because it's kind of like that. Yeah,
it's the high school Yakuza.
It kind of is like they go as far as to like using knives and stuff. It's insane.
So this is, like I said, off the cuff. Greg is usually the one who does all the research for the episodes.
And, I got info here if you want info. I got info.
Oh my God.
Hey,
okay.
I put on my podcaster hat again for one night. All right, it's been a while, but I put my hat on.
That.
Yeah. Hey, so this game was released exclusively for the Super Famicom in Japan on August 7th, 1992. Of course, we said that it's part of the Kunio-Kun series. Again, those sports games like Super Dodgeball and stuff like that. This is not in the chibi art style, the cutesy little characters. This is actually kind of more realistic style. And there's a lot of games in this series that we didn't even get. Yeah. I believe this is a sequel to a game that technically came over here. I don't have the name of it, but I believe it was made into Double Dragon 2 for the Game Boy. So we technically got the game over here.
Right.
Yeah, so that's a thing.
Yeah, so that's my thing. Like when I think of Tecmo,
this is not Tecmo, this is Technos.
Techno, sorry.
Yeah, that's totally different from Tecmo.
Sorry. I'm thinking Tecmo Super Bowl.
Yeah. Oh, there's Kunio-Kun. Oh, he's beating up all the football players. Holy crap.
Which is totally what would happen.
It's like Blood Bowl, kind of.
Yeah. Almost. So, when I think of Technos, the first thing that comes to mind, other than obviously the Kunio-Kun games, whatever, is the Double Dragon series.
Censor Joe out. I think he said a bad word. Editor, please censor him.
But yeah, I mean, Double Dragon is the only thing that I can think of that they've done outside of the series. Is there anything of note that you know of that maybe I'm not recognizing?
Well, you know what? I have a little friend who's very knowledgeable about video games, and they're more knowledgeable than I am. And their name is Google. So.
Oh. All right. Well.
Do you remember?
Google,
okay, I totally forgot.
Google's very loud when I'm recording. So.
Oh no, this is a different Google. This is a Google I duct tape the mouth shut.
Okay.
Good, yeah. I totally forgot I was going to bring this up too. Do you remember that game Renegade?
Yes.
That is actually a Kunio-Kun game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
that I didn't know.
From what I gather, I think one of the ports. So I believe it was originally one of those computer games. So Technos used to do a lot of computer games, and then they started branching out into consoles like the Famicom and whatnot. I believe one of the ports of the game actually had the name Renegade in it. The original game is Nekketsu Kouha Kunio-Kun, which is actually the game before this one, I believe.
Okay.
Or was it I think this is the game before it. And I believe one of the ports actually had the word Renegade in there. And I think that's where they got the name Renegade for the North American or the Western release, I should say. I'm sorry. The other parts of the world are not just North America. I apologize. I forgot. Sometimes I forget, you know.
So the story of this game is quite interesting. So this is my best summary that I come up with. Kunio and his friends, I don't even know if they're his friends. They might be just his classmates. They might not even like him.
He's got friends.
You get some banter there.
He's got like a gang going on.
Yeah. So they're from Nekketsu High School. They're invited to a vacation in Osaka by an exchange student. On his way to the hotel, Kunio, of course, comes into trouble.
They have a tea party.
He ends up getting ambushed by some thugs, and he learns the Osaka Student Union basically are hell-bent on taking over Japan. Crazy that a little high school gang wants to take over all of Japan. You would think it would just be Osaka, but
it's better to have big dreams than to have small dreams, you know?
Yeah, big ambition.
Right.
So, of course, Kunio isn't having any of that, and so Kunio punch. And that's that is the theme of this game for sure.
That's his signature phrase. Punch. Kunio punch.
When I got your text last night, or maybe it was earlier today, where like you were like, you just text me punch.
Yes,
and
that was last night.
I was just like, wait. I was like, what are you talking about? Because I hadn't, started playing the game yet. And then as soon as I started playing it, I was like, I get it. Punch. Because that's all you do is punch.
It's not all that you do, but at the beginning, yeah, that's all you do.
Generally, that's all you do. And for me, like I mean, George will probably go into elaboration about how stupid I am, but I couldn't figure out where the girlfriend was.
That's like the first thing you do in the
early
game.
on in the game. So it says, Hishiroi or Hishiri, whatever his name is getting his butt kicked down in the basement. You go save him, and then they come up to the hotel room, and basically he's like, "Oh, I've been talking to this girl, and blah blah blah. You want to hang out?" So you can either say yes or no. Of course, I'm the good guy, so I always say yes.
I think you're forced into doing it, even if you say no.
Really?
I have not. Okay, so I have not tried saying no because I'm not awful.
Okay, yeah, same with me. So that's another thing that we can kind of talk about too, is the fact that there is a good and bad branch that you can go.
It's
here,
very,
nice.
It's very linear, but like it's literally just a black and white choice of like when you get to about halfway through the game, some guy rolls up on you and says, "Hey, you're pretty tough. You want to help me out?" And he's from like the other faction. That doesn't necessarily mean you join the other faction, but that opens up the choice to actually join the other faction later on, I believe. So there is a good, and then if you say no, he kicks your butt. Well, in my case, he kicked my butt. But if you say no, you have to defeat him.
Yeah, I didn't have any problem with defeating anybody because I used the Game Shark code, so I had infinite health.
You cheated! No wonder why you were like level 10 at like the beginning of the game.
So that's where I was going. I got lost.
I will let you know that if you lose, you don't lose anything, actually. It just brings you back all the way to the hotel.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like,
I didn't know,
that's good.
Like, I didn't know what was going to be lost and whatever else. And I was like, I'm playing with this for the podcast. So I'm like, I want to get as far as I can.
That's fair. We did not have a lot of time.
Also, not for anything, but our listeners know how much of a cheat I am to begin with. So it's like almost every game we play.
Game.
Right. So, yeah, so like I go outside the hotel room, go down to the basement, go to like the train station, which is where you're supposed to go. And then there's a day and night cycle.
Yes.
And this I picked up pretty quickly because I was roaming around the train station so long that it started to get dark. So I was like, oh, okay.
I'm surprised you didn't think you were going blind or something. Oh no, does Kunio get cataracts in this game?
So I'm just going around beating people up and whatever else, which is also one of the points that is fantastic in this game.
You have to admit,
probably why it wasn't released
this game,
here in the U.S.
I don't want to say this game is a slog, but like...
Oh, it's a slog.
Not in a bad way, because the fighting is actually satisfying. Okay, so you eventually unlock new moves. So this... Okay.
Yes.
This does not work like River City Ransom. This is more RPG based in the sense of you gain experience and then, you're this level, now you learn funny dance move or whatever. That's a joke. You learn like different attacks and stuff. And some of them get pretty overpowered actually. But you learn new moves and like key moves. Have you used any of the key moves?
No, so
you should have had at least a couple of them at level 10. Maybe one of them.
I probably did. I didn't use any of the key moves in all honesty.
So this
because earlier on I was trying to use key moves and it kept telling me I didn't have enough key.
Yeah,
and
that happens.
I was just like, okay, well, if I don't have enough key, like, what's the point of me even bothering going into this inventory?
You might have gotten you might have gotten screwed over with your leveling because the numbers are random. You could have just gotten like increases by 1 every time you leveled up, for all we know.
Yeah, that's true.
It's happened to me. Yeah. Like I've gotten like 2,000 experience, which like earlier in the game like takes forever.
Oh my god!
It speeds up. Forever. It definitely speeds up, but like
yeah, absolutely.
It took me like 2,000 experience once to like level up, and then I get like, oh, your HP increased by 1, your power increased by 2.
Right.
I'm like, I might as well go outside and start beating up people myself,
Right.
I probably get stronger way quicker that way. Yeah, but it's random. I don't know what the max level is. There's no reported max level in this game. I've looked. Yeah, so there's limited documentation in English about this game. And
correct.
The highest level I've seen is 32, and that's the last key move you get. And then after that, it's a crapshoot. It's a crapshoot of what the highest level is. It might be unlimited. Who knows?
Right. And so going back to what I was saying as far as like being able to beat people up, one of the reasons I think this wasn't released in the US is Nintendo was very strict, still with the Super Nintendo, with their practices and everything else. And
there's a lot of cursing.
The game has cursing,
yes.
but that could be censored. That's not a problem. I think the big thing is that you can beat up anybody in the game, including civilians. You get experience
including
from beating up civilians.
Women, including
police,
men, police people.
You could throw people in front of trains in the subway.
Yeah,
I learned how to do that.
Oh, of course you learned how to do that.
I mean, I was stuck there for so long.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
But yeah, I realized that beating up the civilians was pointless because I was getting like 3 experience, if that. Whereas if I'm beating up a gang of thugs, like I'm getting like almost 30 points of experience. So it didn't make sense to beat up the civilians, but like I said,
they almost
situation where I
don't
was
reward
there,
you for beating up civilians.
Right. So I was like, well, since I'm stuck here, I'm just going to beat everything up and just keep leveling
here's
up.
The other side to this.
What I did.
The other side to this is, not only can you beat up civilians, sometimes civilians gang up on you and fight you. So there's 2 factions. There's the oh geez, I almost accidentally said the one of the alliances in Yakuza. I forget what it is. It's the something alliance and the something union. Whatever the heck they're called.
Osaka Student Union.
That's what it is. And the Alliance.
And
you're part of the
Alliance.
I keep confusing the 2. I believe you're in the Alliance.
Yeah.
And you're fighting the Union. But it seems like everyone and anyone is a part of the Union. Because it's like...
so true.
There are like these like middle-aged like mothers coming out of nowhere and they're like... All right, beat them up, boys, and they got like chains and stuff. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? But
so true.
Yeah,
that was the first thing I thought of playing this. Was like the first time I saw like the older woman who,
you're like,
doesn't look
go
elderly.
beat her up.
It's just she's walking around with a fucking. I'm sorry, that's got to be added. She's walking around with a giant metal chain. Like I was just like, how am I not gonna beat her up? Like, she's got a chain.
Hey, that could have been a bike chain. Okay, she was fixing her bike.
So one of the plus sides to this is this game, as you can tell because I got lost so early, this game is not linear in the traditional sense. It's kind of open. You have choices that you can make. There's no set path, more or less.
The story is linear, where you need. Okay. So what Joe means is he got lost really easily. All right. To be fair, it'll tell you one thing once, and if you missed it, you have to figure out where the heck to go. Okay. So like once you get to like the second place, it's all pretty much pretty linear. Like, oh, you gotta go to this station, you gotta go to this bridge, you gotta go here. The only time that it gets confusing is when you start going into the sewers and they're like, oh, you need to go to the other, you gotta go through the sewers because the cops are everywhere else, and then you go topside the next thing. That could get a little confusing, but if you just keep going through doors, you'll eventually find it. Like, not even kidding. Like, it's a quote-unquote maze, but like there's no haha, you went down this corridor, these like 5 corridors for nothing. Like, if you go through a door, there's a very good chance like you're making progress. Most of the time, if you enter a doorway and it's not like an area to make progress, it's just one room, so you just leave. And once you get it down pat, you'll figure out where you're going. Where you need to go, though, again, if you're not paying attention to the story or anything, you will get lost. There is a walkthrough though on I think it's Strategy Wiki. So if you just go on there and look up the game, there's a detailed enough walkthrough.
As much as this is all punchy and we make fun of it, but like to be fair, this is probably a game I'm probably going to go back to.
This is a decent story. So like the game really opens up once you level up more and once you get further into the game. So like I assure you, at some point you're gonna have a hard time fighting somebody. But like, if you beat them or if you level up enough and you get lucky and maybe get some better gear randomly, there's a point where you start breezing through fights easier, at least the random fights. But I remember reading in the walkthrough like, oh, you're gonna fight this boss, it's gonna be hard. And on my first try, I beat her. Oh, by the way, she also looked like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Nice.
if you get to her, you'll know what I mean. But
that's awesome.
Yeah. So like there it's ridiculous. So the XP ramps up really quickly, but there are points where I'm just like, I just beat up like 2 groups of guys and I got like 500 experience each. Like, when am I going to level up? And every time I say, when am I going to level up, and I go fight somebody, I level up. So like, it's just like the progression curve is so weird where it's just like, all right, I collected a lot of experience. Where's my oh, okay, now I leveled up.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It starts getting easier. But yeah, there's more than punchy punch. Eventually you unlock different kicks, and so this game's really weird because almost all of the fighting is contextual. So like when you start fighting, you just go punchy punch, right? But when you start unlocking stuff, if you're far enough, you start kicking. And the kick is pretty good because usually the other enemies can't kick back. So you can kind of just like stun lock them a little bit. And like I said before, you start getting overpowered attacks. So there's one attack, if you can do it, it's pretty situational. They have to be on the ground, and a lot of times they get up really quickly, but if you can catch them on the ground, you can mount them and just wail on them for like pretty much forever.
Wow.
And it's really overpowered. So if you can knock them over, it's pretty good. I've also learned there's a block. I've only done it once. It's very contextual. You have to hold the attack button at the right time to block. So I've like only blocked once. I don't even try anymore. My tactic is, oh crap, they're surrounding me, I'm gonna jump. Like a lot of things for me is just like, I'm gonna jump.
And early on in the game, jumping is fantastic.
I jumped to move really fast.
Yes, because I felt like, oh my god, walking through the hotel, I was like, this is like slower
because there's no run button
in January. Right. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my god. But then like I realized, oh, he moves a little quicker when he jumps.
A little. He jumps like he's on the moon
everywhere.
And he's got the momentum like he got thrown out of a moving car.
So I just kept jumping and jumping to get everywhere I needed to go. It was so much quicker. So, one of the other things I wanted to talk about.
Just one more thing. Sure. I don't know if you noticed it, but a lot of times I find myself punching at the air next to the enemies because I don't want to get too close to them because then they'll start hitting you, and it turns into oh, is it hot in Japan? Here, let me fan you off, and then you're just fanning off each other. Right. So I've learned something actually. If you just keep pressing the attack button while you're holding a movement button, you can like inch yourself closer and closer to them until you like hit them.
Okay.
Yeah, that actually helps a good amount. And it also really helps because eventually you can grab them and start kneeing them in the nuts.
Nice.
Yeah. But if you move way too close, I think if you're behind them, I hate this move so much.
They'll throw elbows.
Well, you grab them by the arms and you shake them. And that could do a decent amount of damage, but every time they just shake you off and you get knocked down. And anytime you're on the ground, you're very vulnerable. So like, I try to stay away from it. Okay, here's the worst part about the fighting. If you ever get an ally, you're gonna die. Not even kidding. I don't know if you've noticed it, but anytime I've got an ally, I've got the crap beat out of me from the ally by accident when I'm trying to fight somebody.
So, we're going to go meet Hiroshi's girl. So I got Hiroshi with me.
Oh, yes.
Every single fight.
Yes.
Every single fight. I am clobbering him in the face.
I can't imagine what the two-player mode is like.
Oh, two-player mode must be, oh my god, crazy. But yeah, like, Hiroshi, if he had his own life bar and was affected by my punches, he would have died. I don't know how many times.
Yeah, all the story allies have unlimited health. Yeah. There are times. There are times when you get into a random fight, someone will be like, "I'll help you," or like, "Pick on someone your own size," and they like help.
Right.
You could actually beat them up too. You don't get as much experience because it's like beating up an innocent civilian, but it's better than letting them try to help you and then they just kick your butt. It's I feel like that part of the game was like almost untested because you know how many times I got beaten up by the ally AI is insane.
Yeah,
so
I definitely feel like it was shoehorned in.
Maybe
like this was a one player experience, and then they were like, "Hey, well, we have the allies following him anyways. Like, why don't we just make this 2-player?" And they didn't do anything other than enable player 2.
That's why you stay away from them until there's one person left, and then all you do is just jump kick them. So then you just kick everybody there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Best way to do it for sure.
Knock out your friends. More like your friends knock you out. It's just
so I thought. Mm-hmm. Oh, I was gonna say, kind of moving on. I was just gonna say that I found the graphics of the game to actually be pretty decent considering.
Yeah, I think they're good enough.
I felt the animation of the train coming through the station was pretty good with the doors opening and everything else. That first opening cinematic that they give you if you sit on the title screen is actually pretty good, and it gives you a lot of story.
They let you know that the train's coming. But every time I heard the noise, I thought like a phone was ringing. I was like, "Is there a phone to pick up?" I was like, "Oh, it's the train. Why does it sound like a phone's
ringing?" Until you get hit by the train.
So here's the thing: I never got hit by the train. I knew well enough to not stand on the railroad tracks. You know, the thing that you kind of learn when you're a child.
Well, I'm a slow learner.
It took me 45 years to figure out not to stand on those tracks.
42. 41.
I threw out a random number. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying. I have to hold on to those precious years.
Took me 62 years.
But yeah, I thought the graphics were pretty good considering. And
okay, so the music's good, but it's short and it loops. So eventually I just lowered the volume. Not all the way, but I lowered it, and I just anytime there wasn't a story thing, I would just have a YouTube video in the background.
Yeah. And for me, the sound effects were kind of lackluster as well. It
was just the same. Yeah, it's just the same sound effect for every hit, pretty much.
So, I mean, it's it is what it is. The Japanese people ate this up, so. And I think
that's
we would have as well.
No wonder why Switch cartridges have a bitter taste to them. People kept eating the cartridges.
See? There you go.
The Japanese, you know how many children tried eating this Japanese game cartridge?
I'll tell you one thing. Playing this game made me want to go back and play the Kunio-Kun collection that's on the Switch.
Oh yeah.
I bought that, and I think I've played it once.
You know what? I don't have that collection.
I think I played Dodgeball. I think I literally bought it just to play Dodgeball.
Dodgeball's good. But
I love Dodgeball.
Yeah, the other Kunio-Kun games are good. Did you know? I didn't know this until I acquired the game. But there's a Super Dodgeball on the DS.
Ooh.
Where I'm sorry, it's not just dodgeball. It's actually multiple sports, but it's a Kunio-Kun game that was localized for the Western audiences, and it's a bunch of sports, including dodgeball. And your character, it's like an RPG sports game where your characters level up and get better stats and stuff.
Okay,
yeah, it's pretty cool.
I'm gonna have to hunt that down because I still have my modded 2DS.
I'll have to let you know what the name is because I think it's still something Kunio-Kun or something. I forget.
Yeah, I figured if I Google Kunio-Kun, I'll find it.
No, you won't. You'll find 20 million different games. It's a really popular series. I mean, heck, there's River City Ransom Underground. Yeah, I don't even know if that's a Technos game. Is that a Technos game?
I I don't
All right, time
honestly know.
to ask my friend.
I was just gonna do that myself.
Yeah, but you said yours talks.
Yeah, mine does.
I'm looking it up now. No, it was made and published by Conatus Creative. I have never... Apparently, they've only done this game. What the heck?
Okay.
Maybe they license out the... Okay, so now I'm confused because... obviously, the original was a Kunio-Kun game. I wonder if River... Oh my god, I can't speak. I wonder if River City Ransom is a different license? Maybe? From Kunio-Kun?
That's possible. Because that brings me to River City Girls.
Oh, that's right.
I thought that was a Technos game, but it's not.
No.
It's Arc System Works.
That's right.
And Way Forward.
So maybe the River City Ransom license is different.
Yeah.
Huh.
That'd be my guess.
Because I think all the Kunio-Kun stuff is still Technos, right? Like even the new stuff, right?
I think so.
Man, what
we're
the heck is this?
doing a lot of talking.
I accidentally stumbled across something on Steam.
Okay.
There is a DLC you can buy that adds Kunio and Ricky being the second character. What was his name in the American version? Was it Alex?
Yeah, something like that.
I think it's Ryan and Alex. I forget who's who. There's a DLC to add them into this game called Mighty Fight Federation, which I've never heard of.
Huh. So, you ready to get your mind blown?
Yes.
All right. So, I don't know the logistics of it, but apparently a Kunio-Kun The World Classics Collection was recently released for all systems. And
Over here?
it is a ArcWorks production. So Arc, I believe, owns the rights.
Looking it up, let's see. Arc System Works, also known as Arc Sys, formed in 88.
Oh my god, I might have to pick this game up.
I wonder, is Technos is shut down, isn't it? Thinking about it now.
Yeah, Technos ended in like 2007.
2000. Oh, okay. Here we go. This is very helpful. Technos Japan Corp was a Japanese video game developer best known for Double Dragon and Kunio-Kun franchises, as well as Karate Champ, what the heck is this? Combat Tribes and Voltage Fighter, whatever. As of June 2015, Arc System Works owns the intellectual properties of Technos Japan.
There we go.
Yeah, so they
makes sense.
They went bankrupt. Oh, this is weird. Okay, so Technos has been defunct since '96.
Oh wow.
Due to bankruptcy, it looks like.
Huh.
And Arc System Works now owns all that stuff. That doesn't answer my question on River City Underground. But that sheds some light somewhere.
But see, so when did River City Underground come out?
Wasn't that like 2015 or something? It was like 2010s somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember anything before 2020.
I don't remember anything after.
Oh. That's probably a good thing though. Anyway, I'm still trying to look this up and make heads or tails out of it, but we pretty much figured it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good for Arc Systems keeping Kunio-Kun alive.
What were we talking about? Oh, this video game.
We were pretty much wrapping this game up. we talked about the graphics and all that.
I could probably squeeze out more conversation about the game.
Yeah. I'm sure you got some more to say about it, so you're more than welcome to say some stuff.
It's fun. It's you play with the Super Famicom or the Super Nintendo controller. I actually had something to say and I don't remember. That's why I'm stalling for time. I think I talked. Yeah, fanning off people. It's hot in Japan.
Yeah.
The fighting's contextual. Maybe I did bring up everything.
I give you the floor, and this is what you come up with.
Listen. The floor was comfy enough, so I just fell asleep. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm new to this podcasting thing, you know.
I mean, there's some rust there. You know, I get it.
I mean, there is no rust because I stream, so that's that's just me talking about stupid things. I don't know if I'm ever gonna beat this game, but I got like halfway through it, so that's pretty good, right? For like one
I'd be
day,
happy with that.
yeah, for like one day of playing.
I mean, I got on the train.
Which one? The train going back home?
I got to a city. I know that.
Are you talking about the first town?
Yeah.
Oh, so you the cutscene. Okay.
Yeah. Like, it was just one of those things where, like, you know, I was fighting and
you didn't pay attention to the story, so you got lost.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, like, I was fighting near the train and the doors were open. I was like, the doors must be open for a reason.
I
So walked in.
I just love that I texted you and like, oh, how far did you get? I can't figure out where the guy is. It's like that's like one of the first rooms you go to, and you're like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I was playing it while I'm working, so, you know.
Sure.
My attention wasn't 100% on the game, but yeah.
Hey, I remember what I was going to talk about. Did you know that there's an arcade you can go to?
So, in a video, I saw some slot machines that you can play.
Yeah, there's a couple of different machines you can
which is
interact
cool
with.
Because, you know, I mean, obviously in this game, this is how this differs from, like, River City Ransom.
Yeah, so
like,
there's no money.
Cash.
Yeah, there's no money. The money system is literally you got a prepaid card.
Prepaid cards.
Yeah, there's no value to them. It's just one prepaid card is you bought one thing or you
Right.
Yeah. So there's a couple of different. Well, there's a few different machines. There's a one of those like machines that you like punch and it tells you how strong you are. That actually has a use. It tells you how much experience to the next level.
Oh.
Yeah, and then there is a kind of like gachapon type of like. Is it gachapon or is it one of those crane games or whatever? And you get random items and. So my favorite part about this game is there are items that have no use. They have literally no use, and they're rare too. They do nothing, but if you use that crane game, you get like a random item, and sometimes you get one of the rare items that do nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, I was looking this up, and I was like, "What the heck are sea monkeys?" So you can get sea monkeys.
Right.
I have like 5 million sea monkeys in my inventory. Right? So sea monkeys are almost completely useless. They restore key rarely. Okay. So you have to gamble at using it. And sometimes it says nothing happens. And it's so rare that it actually gives you any key. So I'm just like, what's the point of these? I haven't gotten any key from these. They're just a waste in my inventory.
Jeez.
Yeah, I know they kind of did I was gonna say a thing that might not be, you know, they kind of screwed the game with that. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I mean, it was weird because like I'm walking through the train station.
Mm-hmm. As you do.
If y'all notice, there's only one setting that I know.
Well, to be fair, there's like 4 train stations. So,
well, you know. It was the first one. Anyways. So, I think it was, like, in the north end, like, there were some shops, and I was like, oh, cool. Like, you know, this is kind of like River City Ransom. I can go walk up into the shop. I'll probably be able to buy some stuff.
Nope.
But, like, it didn't dawn on me that I haven't collected any cash, and I'm only getting experience. And the only time I saw anything that was close to a currency was when I decided to drag, Hiroshi up to level 4 because the bad guys said they had a bunch of people up there, and I was like, yeah, let's go level up. So in the process of beating up some thugs up there, I end up getting a prepaid card. So I was like, oh, this must mean I can buy something.
Yep.
And I tried to use it at the store.
There's shops,
and, it didn't
but
work.
there's not many shops. I
Yeah.
remember walking to a sports store,
Yes,
but there was no one
There's
there.
Tigers.
Yeah.
The baseball
but there was no
place,
one there.
yeah. No one's there.
So you just steal
And
everything.
That's got to be there's nothing to steal. It doesn't let you do anything.
Right,
I'm
right, it's just a
assuming
room.
that later on
probably
there's
unlock it
a
or something.
story point there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I was like, oh, okay.
This game
Like,
is
I
a
was
little
sitting there thinking-
confusing.
I was thinking there was some like literal inside baseball information there, like it's the Osaka
Inside
Tigers
baseball.
from like you like
Yeah.
that. Osaka Tigers, like I didn't even bother to Google to see if that was like a real thing and if they really had a baseball team or whatever.
Yeah, tigers are a
But,
real
like-
thing. They're a mammal.
Yes, no, I know that.
Took me 42
Thank you.
years to learn that tigers were an animal.
So, yeah.
But there's also a fortune teller machine, and it actually affects your luck. So like whatever whatever outcome, like sometimes like, oh, you have bad luck, and so it like minuses your luck, or sometimes like, oh, you're really lucky today, and it like adds like 255 to your luck or something.
Wow.
I think
Okay.
luck affects like what kind of drops you get maybe from enemies.
That makes sense.
There's, like I said, there's not much documentation on this game, at least in English. So yeah, there's actually even items that the people who put together the guide don't even know what the heck they are, which is really good. I love it. Was there another machine? Oh crap, I don't remember now. I don't remember. That might have been all of them. My brain's not Elo Goodo, Sorry, I'm speaking Spanish now. That wasn't. My brain's not very good. I'm trying to say, yeah.
I think we pretty much covered the game.
Yeah, you
so
punch people
one
and you
thing-
level up.
You punch.
punch. Kick,
so
punch.
one
It's
thing
all
I
in the
am
mind.
keeping-
If you want to test me, I'm sure you'll find.
Love Papa Rappa the Rap.
Yeah.
So one thing I did want to keep from our regular episodes is, of course, the cost of the cart. So this game, amazingly, is super cheap, but also super expensive. Like, it's crazy. I saw average prices were like $10 to $30.
I'd buy this game.
And those were sold prices. But also, like, I saw copies for some reason selling for almost $80 to $100. And those were loose carts. So I don't know if, like, there's someone driving those particular carts up or what. But
And I'm assuming
yeah,
you haven't
can
seen
easily-
any, like, English reproductions or anything?
That was the next thing I was getting
Okay.
to. So I saw many River City Ransom 2 reproduction carts.
Don't call it that.
And, well, that's what they are listed as. It is listed as River City Ransom 2. And all those were like $20, which, you know what? Go to
That's not bad.
AliExpress, you can get it cheaper.
Oh, I mean, you could get like a cheap, you could get like a cheap flash card, or I don't know. I just
Well, I mean,
emulate
there's that
a lot of my
option
stuff
too,
now.
but-
So
Yeah, I was going to say I just emulate, but yeah. Through AliExpress, I mean, I think you can order like Genesis and Super Nintendo games for like $5 each. So,
really, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they actually come in actually a pretty good knockoff cover, and the card actually looks pretty decent. It's only once you open it up that you realize it's crap.
Why is Kunio-Kun not wearing pants on this cover? Bootleggers, you got me
What?
again.
So, thank you, George. I appreciate you showing up and bailing me out here.
Yeah, I brought a teacup to bail you out.
Yeah. Usually, Greg's the one who, finishes or comes close to finishing the games.
Yeah, he's pretty good with
it's
it.
good that
actually.
at least,
Yeah.
at least one of us was able to do it. It's
It took me.
I
I
gotta give it
actually
to Greg.
spent a lot of time trying to get halfway through the game. To be honest, I was enjoing it though. It was fun. Just punching people. There's
I
almost
definitely
no
recommend it to
repercussions
people.
for losing. So,
Right.
yeah.
Just keep.
And you're not
pushing
really
through.
screwed like River City Ransom, where like if you run out of money, you can't beat up people. You kind of just. Hey, we beat
Right.
that together. We played that together once. We beat that game, remember? River City Ransom?
Yep.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
That was an experience.
Fun.
Yeah, we had to grind.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. A lot of people saying
It wasn't
barf.
like when we played Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, no, because we just did
kill
that
ourselves.
glitch or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Super leveled up, and we're like, oh, let's beat it now.
Yep.
That was the thing. That Scott Pilgrim game was kind of cool, too.
Yeah, it was a nice little throwback.
Yeah.
Before throwbacks were like an everyday thing.
Maybe we should play River City
So.
Underground at some point. That's multiplayer.
I will have to see if I can acquire a copy of that.
We could remote play on Steam.
Ooh,
You know what that is?
Okay. I don't,
Oh.
but I'm sure you'll be able to inform
This
me of
is, yeah, no, this is it's not even really a new feature anymore, but, like, you can remotely connect to your friend if they invite you, and then they just stream the game to you, and you can use the controller and play.
Nice.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Well,
Yeah,
we'll
it's really good,
definitely have
actually.
to do that then. Yeah. All right. Well, that has been SNES Gaiden, the one and only episode.
Gaiden!
Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden!
So I just want to, say thank you guys for listening. I appreciate all the love that we get on the Facebook page. Greg is super awesome with the podcast, and he keeps up with everything. He's kind of the glue that keeps it all together. I just kind of show up and talk.
He
fair.
was way better doing that stuff than I was, even with my podcasts.
Yeah. So, I can't thank Greg enough for what he does for the podcast. I mean, I pulled this out, within 24 hours. So, I mean, pats on the back for
We
today.
literally had
But,
a day to play this game.
I literally,
Yeah.
So, but you can find us on the SNES Podcast website, on Facebook. Just search any SNES Podcast. I'm not even prepared. Like, Greg's got all the emails and all that stuff. Listen to the previous episodes. You'll find out where the email is. Cool thing that I
Listen
forgot
to the
mention at
previous
beginning.
episode to get all the info. That's great, Joe.
I should have listened to the previous episodes to get the info. Big shout out to Greg, like I was saying. And, today is special because today is the 30th anniversary of Soul Blazer. So I was kind of upset that I wasn't able to share that with him today. And you can find me as usual on Facebook, very open, very not family friendly. And also you can find me on Twitter at JOESUX30. George, I know you're doing the streaming thing. Other than that, like social media, you're kind of here and there. So you want to plug your stuff?
I'm really bad at social media. But before I say that, I believe the email is the SNES Podcast at yahoo.com.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And if I'm not, then you're emailing some weird guy who...
So, emailing some random guy.
Hey, I love the podcast. Who is this? Anyway, yeah, I don't do podcasts anymore. This is weird doing this, actually. It's been weird. But it's been great.
This is like getting into a comfortable pair of shoes. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I didn't have to... Well, I'd say I didn't have to do much hosting, but I think I might have had to do some hosting here. A little bit.
I mean, you had to play the game a little bit more than I did. That's
Yeah.
all.
Oh, yeah. Just a little... Just a tiny bit, yeah. Just a little bit more. Yeah, all I pretty much do is just stream now. I stream, like, every weekday on Twitch. Really not family friendly, I might say. But
Yeah,
it's a good
so
time.
I'd still plug it.
Yeah, plug it right in.
Get some people over there. He's doing pretty good. Better than when we streamed together.
Oh, geez, that was a mess. But yeah, you could catch me on Twitch if you just look up Derpkin. It's spelled D3RPKITTEN, and you'll find me and my potty mouth and my mannerisms and stuff. I do TikTok stuff.
Oh, really?
All right, well, thanks, George. You're never coming on this podcast ever again. You're a weirdo.
I mean, at least
It's
you're
for
getting
promotion.
with the times.
Yeah,
I was gonna say.
I don't watch TikTok. I just post to it. Listen, I only play a narc on TV. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's the same name. It's Derpkin D3 RP KITTEN. You can find clips in there. I upload Twitch clips pretty much and stuff like that. But
Sweet.
yeah, I don't I don't really do anything else anymore. I don't know. Is there demand for PlayStation Power? I think about it once a week about bringing back PlayStation Power. I do, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I think at least, well, I'd say every 2 weeks when I record with Greg, I think about, it'd be nice to bring back the Radical Retro Roundup. But
what if we combine the two podcasts together?
that means I have to dedicate time that I don't really have.
You would only play 5 minutes of every game.
That's true.
I know. That's yeah. I know your situation, but I don't really have an excuse.
To be fair, I grew up, my teenage years was the PlayStation. So, a lot of those games could be covered without me even have to touch the game.
Yeah, like Tobal number 1.
Like Tobal number 1. There you go.
Remember that game?
Tobal
we
number
should play
2.
Tobal number 1. Oh, Joe, this game's not really good. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, but you were coming at it from 2007 playing it, where I was
2007?
2006 or whatever.
What?
Like, I was coming from 1996 when that game first
We didn't do
out.
that podcast until 2016 or something like that.
Yeah, whatever.
It was not 2006. Definitely not 2006.
Like I said, anything, like you said, anything before COVID, who knows?
I didn't say COVID. I said 2020.
Yeah, same difference.
Fair.
All right. Bye.
Goodbye.
Nintendo controls 80% of the video market. But no matter how you play the game, or which game you play, things definitely have come a long way since Pac-Man.
Now you're playing with power. Super power.